This is a closeout video for the CTL Evolution Catalyst project. Our main goals were to modularize the codebase by extracting different logical pieces into the separate repositories that developers would be able to utilize separately without needing to always bring in the CTL dependency. We have significantly improved and simplified the transaction building interface that previously was imitating the legacy Bluetooth constraints interface that also required lookups, for instance, and that was often a source of confusion for the user since the correspondence between constraints and lookups was not always immediately obvious. So, as part of this project, we have created a new repository called PureScript Cardano-Transaction-Library that provides a declarative interface for building transactions by combining the so-called builder steps. Each step represents some actions that should be performed as part of the transaction of interest. For instance, we can specify that the transaction should spend some output, and as you can see, there is an additional field for output witness in case we try to spend some output locked at a script address. Notice how all relevant information required for performing an on-chain action that was previously provided using lookups is now encoded as part of the corresponding builder step constructor. On top of it, there is a transaction editing mechanism in place that keeps track of redeemer indices, allowing to safely modify transactions without worrying about invalid redeemer pointers. So overall, the interface gives a better guidance to the user, making it much easier to build valid unbalanced transactions. Next, we have two new repositories featuring Cardano and Bluetooth types, also extracted from CTL. So PureScript Cardano types contains various domain types, many of which are essentially wrappers over auto-generated bindings for CSL. And these types come with useful type class instances that enable serialization, conversion to and from JSON, conversion to and from transaction metadata, and they are primarily used in CTL for building and submitting transactions. Then let's move on to the Bluetooth types that provide Bluetooth data encodings, which are necessary for passing information to Bluetooth scripts. These types expose convenient conversion functions, allowing to convert between Cardano and Bluetooth types. So, for example, if you have a Cardano address and would like to provide this as part of a redeemer to a Bluetooth validator, you could use this library and its conversion functionality to easily accomplish that. Additionally, we have upgraded the codebase to be compatible with the latest PureScript compiler, added support for S-build as an alternative bundling option, extracted the CEP30 API into separate repositories, and introduced many other improvements to the CTL codebase.